Welcome to the Great Man Within podcast. Every episode is designed to help you discover and live the great man within you. So I got a confession to make, fellas. This is actually not easy for me to say in a recorded forum. 7% of who I am is lazy, unmotivated, and a slob. There. 7%, if we're going to be precise, of who I am is lazy, unmotivated, and a slob. And this would be surprising to most of the people in my life who know me and actually know me very well as being this guy who's constantly turbo, getting things done, productive, routines, structures, processes, rituals, execution. And I've got all of that stuff to a T, no doubt. But there is an undeniable part of me that shows up every once in a while that's just lazy, that's unmotivated, and doesn't want to do a damn thing about it. And I've recently, just very recently, through the help of my wonderful coach, David Waldis, started to embrace that part of me as someone that I love and actually carries a useful part of who I am. And there's actually wisdom in this part of me that I label as lazy and unmotivated and can be a slob sometimes. So I'm sharing this story with you guys because one of the themes, and this is kind of surprising, and if you're not in the personal development space, this may come as a surprise to you. Many of the highest performers confide in me that they worry on some level that they are inherently lazy. And I'm talking about some of the most productive, crazy, insane, get things done, executing people confide in me that there's this fear that they're on some level inherently lazy, and therefore they have to fight this fight to constantly stay in motion and have developed this thing, this system, this grind, this energy to constantly be in motion so that they don't fall into that trap of being like a lazy sloth that never gets anything done, that doesn't manifest their fullest potential. And I know what that fear is like because when I'm in that place of feeling lazy and unmotivated, not wanting to get off the couch, I feel a deep shame, or I've felt deep shame that I'm not getting things done, that maybe this is really who I am at my core. And if I give into it, then I'm giving up on life, then I'm weak, that there's, some indictment on my character, my identity as a man. Or I'm going down some dark path that I won't be able to return from. I'll fall into the abyss. It's amazing how many dark places I've allowed my mind to go with respect to just feeling moments of laziness or lack of motivation. And what I've started to learn, again, through the help of my coach and through some of this medicine work that I've done with ayahuasca and mushrooms and things that I'll be talking about at greater length, I've started to realize that this part of me exists for damn good reason. This part of me that I label as lazy and unmotivated and can be a slob sometimes is a part of me that just doesn't want to be structured all the time. This part of me that would like to play every once in a while. This part of me that likes to let me know when I've gone too far and I've actually pushed myself into overdrive. Instead of going 100%, I've gone 120%. And this part of me, when I ignore him or suppress him, let's call him Lazy Dom. I like to call him Lazy Dom. When I ignore Lazy Dom, he eventually gets ornery and he steps up and rebels. How do I know? It's when I wake up in the morning and he doesn't want to let me get out of bed. Or when I'm going to do things that I typically love doing, makes me feel like I'm not interested in doing it. The shine, the luster, running a workshop or doing a keynote speech or, doing something with friends, a social thing. Like when I'm feeling like I'm not interested in going, I'd much rather just flop on the couch. It's because I've been ignoring this lazy part of me, this part that I label as lazy. And, when I was talking to David, my coach, about this, he was like, Dominic, there was a point in time in your history where maybe this lazy part of you was 20% of you, but you've whittled him down, right? He might have had like a room, like if you were a building, like he may have had a suite in the upper levels of the building, but now you've relegated him to like the trash compactor and you're ashamed of him and you keep him buried from the light of day. And so he comes up and he kicks and screams because his love language is quality time. Like, he wants me to spend time with him. This lazy, unmotivated part of me wants me to spend quality, undivided time with him where I can recharge my tank, where I can play, where I don't have structure, where I don't have to do something productive, right? Where I can quote, waste time and not feel guilty about it. Because that part of me wants to be nourished. And when that lazy Dom part of me actually has a seat at my table and I welcome him and I'm not ashamed of him because he's not going anywhere. I've whittled him down as far as I can, at least for the time being, to 7%. When he has a seat at the table and I spend quality time with him, then he actually allows me to feel vibrant and alive when I wake up in the morning because I'm rested, because he's been satisfied, he's been nurtured, he's been given his time and energy and attention. But when I don't, he rebels. And there's an analogy that helps me here because shame is something that causes us as men, it causes all people so much unnecessary stress. And this part of me, being ashamed of this part of me, has caused me to live my life sometimes at a speed that's unhealthy for me. Because I'm ashamed of this part of me that's maybe just not wanting to do something all the time, I end up taking on more than I really want to. And I take on more responsibilities. I take on too many tasks. I commit to too many things that eventually makes my life feel overcomplicated, overplanned, overstructured, suffocating. And I end up wanting to rebel against my life simply because I didn't pay attention to this part of me that needs nurturing. And so instead of being ashamed of lazy Dom, what if I just owned him fully? And I've been experimenting with that. And my muse for this is Joe Gatto from Impractical Jokers. Now, if you guys don't know Impractical Jokers, what rock have you been hiding underneath? Maybe if some of our international listeners, it's a show that's not necessarily available to you. The short of the story is there are these 4 friends. They're in their early 40s, like same age as me. They grew up in Staten Island. They're best friends. And they'd have a hidden camera TV show where they play practical jokes on each other. And instead of playing practical jokes, it's a candid camera show. So instead of playing practical jokes on their unsuspecting guests, which is a part of it, it's really about playing practical jokes on each other. They compete to embarrass one another. And the ringleader of the 4 is this guy named Joe Gatto. And the reason why he's the ringleader is because this man has no shame, right? They compete to embarrass each other. For example, they had Joe who lost this episode, and when you lose, you get punished. He had to go in as his punishment to a cafe, into a crowded coffee cafe where he went into the bathroom, and they made him sit in the bathroom and then open the door, sitting on the bowl with his pants down, and scream out to everyone in the cafe, "There's no toilet paper in here. Can someone please hook me up with a napkin?" Now, that would be horrifying for any normal human being to go through, right? It'd be embarrassing. If any one of those 3 guys had to do it, they would have been embarrassed. But Joe Gatto owns it. He has no shame. And so he goes over the top with it and then is hilarious about it. He screams at the top of his lungs. He makes it uncomfortable for everyone else in there because he's having so much fun. He owns the embarrassing situations. And therefore, these 3 guys who are trying to compete to embarrass him always lose to him because he's got no shame. He owns it. And there's a freedom and a liberation to that, isn't there? I want to be free from this shame. I want to be free of this lazy part of me. I want to be free from taking on so many things and being productive when it doesn't actually bring me joy in my life. It actually starts to feel like more of a burden. So I'm now owning lazy Dom. And when it's time to be lazy, I surrender to him fully. How do I do that? One of the easiest, simplest examples is at the end of the day, one of the things I love to do is eat my dinner on the couch, watching a great dramatic television show like Boardwalk Empire, The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, Lost, Dexter, some of my favorites, The Wire. I can go on. One episode where I'm fully present. I don't bring my phone on the couch because lazy Dom gets pissed when I multitask. Lazy Dom wants to be 100% lazy because he likes quality time. That's his love language. And when I just sit there and I nourish myself with a great meal, I have like a healthy dessert, like a Justin's chocolate hazelnut butter, which lazy Dom really seems to enjoy. And if I can eat my meal slowly enough so like I have enough to eat over the course of that 50 or 60-minute episode on the couch, lazy Dom is satisfied. And therefore, I go to bed, get a great night's sleep, I wake up in the morning, and I'm ready to go, and I'm rejuvenated. So I did this episode for you guys, a really short one this time, because there's 7% of me that's lazy and unmotivated and a slob. And when I own that and I welcome that, because he has a positive intention for his existence, which is to teach me not to go 120%. He wants me to cool down and to play and to bring more texture to my life. When I listen to him, my life is more in balance. So I'll leave you with this. If there's a part of you that has felt lazy, or you feel worried that if you give in to that part of you, you're going to get on the couch and you're never going to get off, or you're going to fall into the dark abyss of laziness, and this is who you're going to be from now on, and you're going to not go to work anymore, and you're going to give up on your relationships. How about you actually listen to this part of you? And you can do that board of directors meditation that I talk about, where you sit down and you welcome this part of you to the table that likes to be lazy. Ask for his deeper wisdom. Talk to him. Let him be heard. Ask him how he likes to have his quality time spent with. What's his love language? And what are the things that he would like to do to nourish him so that he has a seat at the table and you're not ashamed, but you become integrated. He becomes integrated into that fully great man version of you. And when I think about my great man knows how to be lazy. He knows how to relax, but he's also not succumbing to that laziness. He's not sitting there and watching 2 episodes of Netflix. He's not eating an entire jar of Justin's chocolate hazelnut butter, right? He's not eating, 2,000 calorie dinner. Like, this stuff is measured and modified in a way that it works for the lazy Dom and the rest of my great man. So I'd love to hear about who your lazy parts of you are and how you are starting to embrace that lazy part of you. And I'll leave you with this. When you really learn how to embrace this lazy part of you, magic stuff can happen. And Bruno Mars is one of the guys who's actually captured this beautifully. If you ever know that song, The Lazy Song, which David, my coach, actually reminded me about yesterday. Let me read you the lyrics here. Today, I don't feel like doing anything. I just want to lay in my bed. Don't feel like picking up my phone, so leave a message at the tone, because today, I swear, I'm not doing anything. I'm going to kick my feet up, then stare at the fan, turn the TV on, throw my hand in my pants. Nobody's going to tell me that I can't. No. I'll be lounging on the couch, just chilling in my Snuggie, click to MTV so they can teach me how to Dougie, because in my castle, I'm the freaking man. Oh, yes, I said it. I said it because I can. Today, I don't feel like doing anything. I'm just going to lay in my bed. Don't feel like picking up my phone, so leave a message at the tone, because today, I swear, I'm not doing anything. And like Michael Singer, who wrote Untethered Soul, who wrote the Path of Living from Surrender, when he says that you surrender fully into that feeling, the most beautiful things can happen. And Bruno Mars, who surrendered fully into that feeling of laziness, created one of the favorite songs of that year. And it's an anthem for just wanting to relax and to not be on this go mode all the time. So embrace it. Whether it's 7% for you, 20% for you, give that lazy part of you a seat at the table and integrate him into your great man.